the Pod Network Entertainment.
Hi guys, welcome to the Eavesdrop podcast. And it is a very, very cool episode today because we are coming to you recording live here at the Pod Network Studios. It's our first time for the Eves gang. My name is Francesca. I have Jelly. And then on Zoom in Utah, we have Delamar. Hello. Hi, ladies.
Hello, ladies. Hi.
Hello. It seems like it's been a while since we've gotten together to record. I think the last time I was in New York. Was that it? Was that the last time?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Like a couple of weeks ago.
I thought you were going to say the last time we actually were in studio together. That would be...
When Del was here last and we had a live also.
I think so. But that was even a different studio. So the Pod Network has now moved to this beautiful studio, this beautiful building, and they have 3 studios here. Again, thank you so much to the Pod Network. This is powered by the Pod Network for helping us out and setting up all of these cams and making sure that we sound so good. They even put the background lights and, they really dolled up the studio for us. Thank you, the Pod Network.
I know. Actually, congratulations are in order because they did work hard to build this studio. There's like 3 or 4 studios within the compound, right? And then like a working space. And this place is actually, though it houses TPN talents, this place is also open for like rentals. Like if you guys want to record a podcast, you can actually rent one of the studios as well, right? Through them. So it's really, really cool. We suggest you guys try that out, okay? All right. So what are we doing? We have an actual episode.
Yes, we do. And we have questions from our listeners as well.
Yes.
So this one, when Del and I were together last episode for F This, we discussed, I read out several of the comments that come in on Spotify. And one question from Jam Magsakay, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. She was asking, she wanted to know from you, what's it like to be running a business with your partner? And what's it like to run a household?
Oh, it's a really good question because running a business and running a household it has the same kind of components to it. I mean, as you know, you guys run your own household. So like you are the boss of you are the boss of the household. You make sure everything goes. You have to forward think, you have to pre-plan, all of that. And that's what you do for a business as well. I can tell you personally, working with Sir Al in a business and he's my lover and he's the father, of my child. It's very difficult. Like,
do you call him Sir Al at all times? Even privately?
Yes. Or Dada. But it's very difficult. I would not suggest it to a lot of people. You really have to have a strong core between the two of you. I think I remember telling you, Del and Jelly, like we ran into an astrologer and the astrologer asked us like what were our signs. Yeah. And he's like, oh, if you guys made it this far, then there's something special about it because your signs are not compatible. Okay. In terms of coexisting.
You're not even supposed to be together.
Something like that. So it's like, he's like, if you've gotten to this point, it means that you both have really done the work and evolved, So I think running a business with a lover, I'll call him lover, it's more sexier instead of partner. There is a lot of give and take. There's a lot of understanding there. We went through a lot of arguments and serious arguments, like difficult to face conversations is what has to happen for you to actually be able to reach a level of like real partnership. I think that goes along with any other relationship, but it's higher stakes because you're running a business. You need to make this business work. You need to make it successful. You need to make money, Actually, there's a lot of parallels now that I think about it. Everything is high stakes, whether it's your household, whether it's your business, right? So it's not for the faint of heart, I think we're very special in a way that we continually strive to make each other better, and we face it. And like, if Al tells me something, I've said it on the podcast before. He's told me, Monica, you're too mean, or Monica, you're too angry.
You come on too strong.
You can say it like this. And I obviously get defensive and I get angry, but then I also take a beat and say, well, maybe he's right. And then I take a look at myself. It's all about introspection. So both of us have done work on our own. We've clashed, and then we've been torn apart so many times, but then when we rebuild together. And that's the goal.
Monica, can you speak about the dynamic? Because the dynamic in the business, if you have a certain role in the business, and then how does that affect the dynamic at home when you are husband and wife, essentially, even without the marriage?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So there are different roles there that you play. And we had to make sure that, we tried to set the boundaries. There were times earlier in our relationship where I was very afraid to emasculate him. Because I am the go-getter. I'm the one that's like, okay, let's do this, do that. The checklist person. He's the dreamer, right? And that's those are the roles. He dreams it. He's the creative, and I'm the one in the background making sure. Okay, let's execute and let's make it happen. But then sometimes I would overpower that, and I had to be very aware to rein that in. To make sure, and it's not about ego massaging or anything like that. It's just to make sure that he knows that he's still also in control. It's just a different kind of control.
Okay, ito, real talk. What about in the bedroom?
In the bedroom.
Are the roles the same or reversed?
It has to be also a give and take. Whatever the mood is what's going to happen.
Kasi it's more than just a partner in business. You treat your partner in business a certain way. But then your business partner is your life partner.
Yeah.
And we're all grown-ups here, okay? Also sex partner, financial partner, social partner. And it really just kind of bleeds into each other. Pero kasi the personal and the business, yun ang very different yung flavor. So, minsan nagkakaroon ng problema. Like, if you're the one who leads in the business, are you the one who leads at home?
Yeah. Well, yes and yes. But then he leads in like the bedroom, or he has also learned to take the lead in the household. Honestly, I think if you're in a partnership, in a relationship, newly formed husband and wife situation thing, they say the woman takes the lead. Rightfully so, because maybe we know how to do that better. But I need to give credit where credit's due, because Al has really, really stepped up to the plate and learned how to manage the household without me. Look, I've taken like numerous trips abroad, and I've left the boys at home alone, and the house did not burn down. They did not starve. Nothing happened. And I do have utmost trust and belief. And, he's going to be able to handle it. He's going to be able to handle his own shit.
Right. So that kind of respect in him holding the fort down at home in a good way obviously affects how you feel about him in business. Parang it's like a ping pong, the energy.
Absolutely. And it's not a straight line, because in the beginning, it's really a roller coaster. And we're just there to support each other. When one lacks, the other person picks up the slack. Parang ganun. All right. So simultaneously, we do have questions. We are on Instagram Live through our Eavesdrop account on IG Live, and we've asked them to send some questions for today's episode.
Yes, I have the questions. I saved them already, but I still have questions for you.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Done. Oh.
Okay, you're not done, woman. The spotlight is still on you.
It's too hot. I'm sweating, guys.
Gladys Evangelista is asking me on live, why end? Because I did see everyone's comments. They couldn't hear us.
Oh.
And we were it was like they only saw a portion of our faces and then Del. So I feel like it's not really worth it to stay on live. We'll go on live probably at the end and then chat with you guys. Okay. So just wait for that. But for now, we'll end the live because I do have a question for you.
Go.
For
I'm sweating, guys.
For a lot of people, they suggest work problems, you keep it at work. You don't bring it home. But in your case, work and home are intertwined.
Yeah.
So when you disagree with decisions that you make at work, and there's probably quite a number of them, how do you make sure that it doesn't trickle down to household affairs as well? Like, okay, that was just at work, but when we were at home, we're mama and dada, and we love each other.
I want to say that happens, that there's a strict boundary, but it doesn't. It will trickle down. And that's why I tell you it's not for the faint of heart because it's very difficult, you know? So there has to be an awareness. I think Al and I have reached a level of like, if we do not agree on something for the business, we get to talk about it right away, and then we table it, and then it's so blurry. It's a big gray area because it's not just black and white, and it's like it's a continuous process. So there will be times where it will trickle down, and I'm at the house, I'm assuming it like, fuck that. I don't want to talk to you. Let's not watch our TV shows today. Fuck it. No. But then there's times, we will argue about something about Sweet X or the company, and then we'll be able to be okay at home. But you know what? Here's the thing. He's really good at it. He's really good at diffusing a tension, any tension. He doesn't like it when it stews. He will maybe do funny things to divert it. And then we will always circle back naman to whatever argument we had, or
who brings it back to the argument to discuss the argument.
Depends on the priority of the argument or the issue. So it'll always circle back naman talaga. But he's very good at just diffusing the situation and not letting it, just drag on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to give him that credit. I'm not good at that. I'm like,
you're a woman after all, Monica.
Yes. You can see like the steam coming out of my head like this.
No, because I think women really, we can't just drop it. It has to essentially run out of gas. The anger, I mean.
I know.
Or the feeling upset. Unlike men, sometimes it's like they can just drop it like a hot potato.
Yes.
And then they make us feel bad because we can't.
Yeah.
That's the part of that I hate.
Okay na tayo sinisira mo na naman. Diba parang ganun yung dating?
But I feel like, okay, I have to say, like, I know there are guys who are like that, and that's very asshole like that. They shouldn't do it. I mean, but I need to, and I know I'm putting him up on this wonderful pedestal because like he doesn't do that to me. Like he will, if we're arguing, he won't make me feel stupid that I feel bad about it. Bah. And that's what I mean, that we've transcended this whole, we don't fight with ego anymore, truly.
Oh,
Al
wow.
and I. Yeah. Yeah. But it's taken a lot to get here, okay? Like a lot of very, very difficult and ugly arguments and conversations to get to this point, that we don't fight with ego.
It's so obvious that through everything, you still choose each other.
Yeah.
Like,
That's important.
Yeah. So how do you decide if this is worth keeping and letting it go?
You mean in arguments?
In the let's put Sweet X aside.
Okay.
Because either way, whether you guys are together or not, you will have Sweet X, and you guys will do your utmost best to make that work. In terms of the relationship, like let's say you have really big arguments. What makes you decide if it's worth working on or if it's time to let it go? Obviously, we know that you've decided to keep it, but what made you decide to keep it instead of letting it go?
What made us decide to keep it instead of letting it go?
Like, we're going to work on this.
I don't know.
Each other.
Yeah.
Each other. That's it.
I love him.
I choose you.
Yeah. It's like, remember, we've said it. I choose him every day, and he chooses me every day. So he has to.
Malaman yun, Monica.
Diba? Kasi I'm not easy. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Me neither.
Right? We're not easy to get along with, and rightfully so. And they're not easy either, our partners or your partners out there. So it is definitely a daily choice. And I love him, and I trust him. I believe in him. I think that's the number one. I really do believe in him, and he's such a good person. So, and I hope he thinks the same of me, right? And we're really in this together. I don't want it to be like all about, Al. Even though he's a lovely person. I'll let him listen to this.
One word, Monica, tenderness. Remember.
Yeah. I remember. I wonder if he listened to that. I'm trying to be more tender.
Mm-hmm.
Tenderness. Mm-hmm. I know. I'm trying. See, that's the thing. You have to keep trying if you love this person. And if you decide you want to be in this kind of relationship, business and family relationship with him, or whomever you're with, Yeah. Is it worth it? It's worth it. Anyway.
So, Jam, hopefully that answered your question and you got, all the insights that you wanted out of asking that. So, we'll get into the live questions first.
Sige.
Okay.
Yeah, sige.
Sige. So, again, all of these, spontaneous lang yung pag-live namin, guys. So, pag hindi kayo nasabihan, we apologize. Pero kami mismo, doon lang namin na-decide na we will go live. Okay. This is a question from Maru S. Alberto, who's asking, how do you deal with your child when he or she feels anxious?
Okay. I do have an anxious child. This is a story, I guess, because I can't answer it. Like, there's not one way to help through their anxiety. It really depends on the situation, what's happening in that moment. So I'll just give you a story. We were in Australia and we were swimming, but the kids, Parker and Harper, hadn't been in the water. They were still learning how to swim, really swim. And it had been a year since they were in the water, so naninibago sila. But Harper is brave. She's fearless. Actually, not brave. She's fearless. And so she jumps in the water and somehow, even if she just managed to get to the other side. So she was fine. Parker was shaking. He was so afraid, like phobic. And I could see it. And he would not go from one side to the other kahit maiksi lang. And then Tyler was getting angry. And he had decided to just throw Parker into the water. Because I think it's worked in some cases, and you never really know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
But the good thing was Tyler looked at me and he said, "What's going on? Shouldn't I do it?" Like he was asking for my permission. And I just said, "I know his fear. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know the kind of kid he is. That's not going to work." And so he didn't do it. And then I had a long talk with Parker, like in the water, but he will not put his head in, stuff like that. So I told him, "Parker, listen to me. Mom is a woman of many fears. I know I don't look like it, but I'm afraid of so many things. And that's precisely the reason why I head towards my fears. Because our fears keep us in a cage. And you can't do anything. You're in that cage. You're not free when you're afraid." So I told him, "You have to break free. And then you'll enjoy the swim." And I think I connected with him on a level that's very particular to Parker. It's emotional and mental. You can't push him. You'll have to lead him. He will do it if you convince him. And I know that about him. And so finally he got it. And then he was having so much fun.
Yeah.
Binilan na sila ng daddy nila ng bagong goggles, whatever, ganyan. And then he had forgotten that he was so afraid. So an hour into him just swimming around, he shot out of the water, looked at me, and he said, "Mom." I go, "What?" "I'm free."
Aww.
Aww.
And so I can't tell you the exact way. I say I don't do parenting this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so intuitive,
Mm-hmm.
truly intuitive. And I hope that in my stories, it gives you a little piece of the puzzle because I can't really articulate yet.
Mm-mm.
But here's what I know. I know my child. I really know them, and I've tested them. Even just this past week, where I can truly, I know their hearts. So I know how to calm them.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one who can pacify you through an anxiety attack, or if you're anxious, if there's nobody around, Marus, I know Marus actually, you look within yourself. Because I had realized it for myself that I was so afraid of so many things.
Mm.
Which is funny because people always think I'm so brave. That's what they think.
You are though.
But I'm not. Yeah, maybe I am brave because I fight the fear, right?
Mm.
I jump when I'm not supposed to jump. But I couldn't find a grown up to help me through it. And I think the introspection, and this is what Fran said just a couple of minutes ago when asked about what makes a relationship work between she and Al, it's this ability to introspect.
Mm.
And it's the same. I was so introspective. And by showing my children that I am introspective, I'm modeling this thing.
Yeah.
Where when I'm not around and if they've got a real problem, a life problem when they're in their 20s, I want them to look within. The answer truly is within.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to shut out the noise, quiet the fear, or look your fear straight in the eye. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ballsy that way. And I'm beginning to see that in me. Like, I'm really ballsy. Pag na-corner na ako, I have this feeling na, tangina, ayoko na. you know? Like, I'm tired of this. Stop bullying me.
Right.
Kanina ka pa eh. Diba? That's the internal dialogue. And I laugh at myself. And then, but that amount of introspection, if nobody can do it for you, introspect within yourself. And maybe if you have a child who is like that, you'll be able to guide them through it. But you can't, if you're blind, how can you guide the other one? You have to be the leaders, diba? So introspection, I suppose. And then I'm sorry I don't have the articulated advice step by step, but I hope the story kind of tells you where I'm coming from. Like I take the time out to talk to my children in a very, very real way. And that's it.
I think because it's anxiety, it's an emotion. So the response should be also emotional from the parents. It's never clear cut. It's never like, just do it. You can't. An anxious child, you really have to listen and find out the trigger or why they're being anxious. And then, this, I'm not sure where it came from and where I heard it, but recently, it's just, you just always have to lead with love.
Yeah.
Right? Was it from you? Maybe from Jelly. But I'm trying to practice that in every aspect of my life and the challenges that I'm facing currently. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to lead with love and let's see how.
Never go wrong.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a logical answer now.
Okay,
my brain has caught up.
Okay. Go for it.
So if we now we know that anxiety is this fear we have of what might happen or what might not happen.
Yeah.
The negative things, right? And so if that's the fear, then you need to identify exactly what you're afraid of. So if you're, halimbawa, in the dark. A lot of kids are afraid in the dark. They don't want to be in the dark. So you have to ask your child, what do you think will happen? What's going to happen? I don't know, but I'm afraid. Okay. But what is it? Are you going to disappear?
Is there a monster?
Is there a monster? You have to let them look at their fear. Like, Kasi minsan, in the act of saying it,
yeah.
It becomes smaller than your
True.
imagination, which can run wild.
That is so true.
So just identify. Okay, so if you're in the dark, okay, the monster will come out. And then what will the monster do? It will eat you. How? Diba? You have to ask.
With its jaws and scary teeth, Mom.
Exactly. And then you go, okay, you tell me, where's the monster? Where's the monster? And how come mom and dad, for as long as we have been alive, if there are monsters like that, why are we still here? We were kids too.
So talking about it, speaking it.
And identify exactly what you are afraid of.
Yes. That reminds me of a story with David when he had to go to the ER. And this is the first time he's ever been to the ER. And then he had to get like little stitches or an injection or something. And the doctor was really good with him by explaining step by step what was going to happen. So hindi siya nabigla. You know, he knew what was going to happen and when. And his anxiety was okay. He was like, all right, I can do this. So that is like also perfect. Like you just tell them or have them, you know, say it out loud.
Right. And slow it down. They said their anxiety is going 100 miles an hour. Slow it down. Slow it down. Nothing's happening.
Right.
Nothing's happening. Like ako, when I have my panic attacks, I have to look outside of myself. Like, okay, the cars are still going. People are still talking. The sun is still there. Okay, everything is fine. So I know that the anxiety is within. It is perceived by me. It's me experiencing it. The world is not really ending.
Right.
So when you need some kind of grounding and slowing down, slow it down. Slow down the breath first. Okay, kung talaga hindi mo kaya. Okay, slow it down. When you talk to them like really low, and then the cadence, and you see you're starting to relax, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, just the tone. Truly, this is so important. This is how I calm my kids.
That's a good
This is my magic.
See?
Yeah. With Juliana, I'm lucky because she really articulates her feelings right away. But there was this one time that I noticed she was feeling anxious and she didn't want to talk about it. And knowing what we know about dealing with anxiety is first you need to create that environment where the person knows that they are safe. If it's you who's anxious, establish within yourself that, okay, I am safe. I am in this room. There's nobody who's going to harm me. I'm in the car. I'm good. I'm safe. So establish that she's safe. So how I was doing that, because we were in the car on the way to training, and I knew she was feeling anxious about seeing some friends that, you know, she's had it's been unstable with these friends. Yeah. So I would just hold her hand, you know, and then just to make her feel like I'm here and this is a safe environment. It's just the two of us in the car. And then I started to play with her I Spy. And the reason I did the I Spy is because, again, when you're dealing with anxiety, first is you establish that he or she is safe. And the next is get that person to be in the moment by smelling, looking, hearing what's happening all around. So when we started to play I Spy, she was in the moment by looking for things, you know, and it was happier. Good. It was a happier environment. And then we just started chatting. I didn't address what I knew was the cause of the anxiety because I wanted her to open up on her own. So I started talking about something with me, something funny that happened with me. I told her about how sometimes when I blow my nose, the tissue's clean. And I'm like, why is it clean? And it's all over my shirt, you know, and it got her laughing. And then it was just in chatting, she started to tell me what was really happening because I've created the environment where she knew whatever happens, she is loved. So, you know, that's another technique I feel, but that also really depends on your child. That's why it's really important that the first thing Del said was she really knew her children. So with your children, get to really know them and don't have preconceived notions in your head already when you're addressing the anxiety. Don't start thinking about, you know, oh, this might be this, and just set up the environment where they are safe, and then wait for them to open up. Sometimes when you're prodding, that's when they close in, and that's when they don't tell you anything.
For sure.
Yeah, but when you create that, they just might share. So that was Marus Alberto. Hello. We met Marus, right?
I think
believe,
so.
Yeah, he's gone to the lives. Okay. Lynn Cat asks, where do you girls see yourselves once your kids are grown and have their own lives? I'll be sobbing. Just kidding.
Bye. You see me at the beach or wherever. See me in Italy. See ya. It'll be like, catch me if you can.
That's how I see myself when I actually see like Juliana will be studying somewhere. And she'll be living on her own, probably with roommates and stuff. And I've been planting that seed in her that, you could do that.
This is an option.
I'm perfectly okay with that. You don't need to worry about me. Definitely traveling a lot.
Yeah, dude.
It's really traveling. And by then, I'm sure I have my own thing that's keeping me busy. So there.
How about you, Dill? All your 3 children once Harper's off to college.
I really don't know. I really don't know. I have zero idea what I would be doing. But I know, just like Jelly, I'd be a sobbing mess. But I'm actually preparing myself every day of my life.
Yeah.
Like, for example, so Harper had a life cycles play. It was a play at the end of the year. It's about life and bugs and all of that. And I realized while I was filming it, I'm like, this is the last second grader of my kids.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was a watershed moment. It's also like Cooper is going to be last year in middle school. And then he's going to the world, right? And so I'm preparing myself every day. I die a little. So that I'm not like dying in one fell swoop when they turn 18. I'm preparing myself because I know there is a life after my children.
For sure. 100%.
100%. I'm so devoted to them. I truly am. I took that for granted that everyone's like me, but no, they're not. I'm different, and I didn't know that about me, and I'm giving myself props.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, I should. And I haven't. And that's the disservice. And I'm only saying that because there's Adele that preceded my kids and who will still be there after I'm done raising them.
Yeah.
And I love this girl. And she is going to have to transform yet again for the nth fucking time.
Yeah.
But she will do it. I have no doubt she will find some way to not just survive the changes, but thrive. It feels like it. Because if I just look back at what I've already gone through, dude, man, I've been through a lot. And knowing that you survive it, you actually deepen your humanity because you suffered so much. Whatever comes my way, I'm not afraid. Even the worst case scenarios, because whatever happens, happens. And you can choose how to react and how to take the proper perspective. Your kids are all grown up. Okay, what's the perspective? I'm going to be sad until the day I die.
No way.
No. Sorry. And you can hold 2 emotions in one, okay? You can be sad, but then you can celebrate freedom. Finally.
That's me right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that can exist in one moment. That's what makes us human. And you take the bull by the horns and say, okay, this is where I am. All right, I'm scared shitless. I don't know what's coming. I'm holding on. Or maybe you're not even holding on. You're just surfing. Take me where you need to take me. I'll try to control the board, but that's all I can control. My weight on the board. Everything else is beyond my control, but I'm surfing.
Yeah.
So I hope I'll be surfing then, and I just don't know what it will look like. I'm actually excited. But that won't be until 10 years from now.
Yeah. And I feel like it is always ever evolving, like you say, because like once they do leave you, right, and they have their own lives, just like with Jade, you know, there's a different set of worry that comes in to play. Okay. It's not like, oh, you're out of my house, I'm not going to worry about you. No. It's still like, are you okay? Are you taking care of yourself? You know, how are you with your love life? You know, are you safe? You know, because they are out in the world. They're not under your protection anymore. They're not under your hatid sundo or pick up from soccer. You know, they are traversing this world on their own and experiencing life as an individual. And you're not there. You're not their umbrella. You're not their cover. So for me, like I felt it with Jade. It's just another set of, I don't want to call it worries, just concerns, you know, another set of mothering that you will have to evolve into as well, right? Because they are their own person. You don't want to nag, but you still want to say, hey, my experience, maybe you know, you can do this and this and that. But of course, they're not going to listen to you because they're adults and whatever. But still, it's the same. You're still their mom. And you're still going to be worried, and they're still your babies, but they're also their own individual person. So that's what you have to look forward to. Surprise.
That was such a fake laugh.
You know, because it just doesn't stop. Yeah. It will never stop for you guys, you know, because you love your kids, and you will always be worried about them no matter what they do, no matter where they are, you know, and you just have to let them go, but still be there for them. So that's another balancing act. It's always a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah. We've talked about it on the podcast before, that we're just raising these kids to be independent of us, to absolutely not need us, but hopefully want us. Yeah. And I keep telling Juliana, anytime you want to come home, I'm just here. Anytime you need me, I'll always be there for you. And, you know, she would ask me questions like, Mama, what if I did this? And she'd give examples of like terrible stuff she could possibly do. And I'm like, I'll be there for you. Yeah, yeah. But I need to know the truth, because I cannot help you. I cannot protect you if you don't tell me the truth. I'll always be on your side initially. Initially. But if I know mali talaga yung ginawa mo, you're gonna get it when we get home. Yeah. But I'll make sure that you're always safe. But it starts with, you have to always let me know the truth. So, you know, but I've already come to terms with the fact that I will be letting her go. Yeah. I will set her free to experience life without me. But again, hopefully still want me. Kasi iba talaga eh, when you're experiencing things on your own without your parents' guidance.
Oh, absolutely.
Mean, for Del and myself, that was pretty early on. Yeah, yeah. But you know, I was lucky because I still had adults around, especially when I came back to the Philippines. So I want Juliana to experience things like that. Lately, we've started talking about relationships.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I know.
I don't want to even go there right now. Oh, no.
Okay.
Any more?
Yeah, there's quite a number.
Oh, okay.
And this next question, perfect, because it goes with what we just started talking about. So Gabby's mom asks, we all go through resets in our lives, whether you changed jobs, immigrate, separation, death in the family. What have you done in your lives to cope, heal, and move on?
What, from change?
From change and the resets, things that just completely turns your life upside down.
I just do. I don't know.
Oh, I was about to say, just do it. Just do it. I hate to be Nike about this, but just do it. There's no other choice.
There's really no
life
other choice.
pushes you. Wala talaga. Because think of it like it's a river raging. Time is like a river raging. Ready or not, here I come. You know, and you can fight it, or you can, you know, it's struggle, or you can flow. Yeah. Sometimes it's not easy. We try to resist. We don't want to accept, right? We don't want to accept that we have no control. Like a great reset we're all looking forward to, or looking, the next stage is letting our children go. And if you resist it, you are going to have such a hard time.
Yeah, it's always harder.
Yeah, and so just relax and flow. Don't fight it. Find new ways to be with like for us, at least our kids in this moment, just it keeps changing, so just do it.
Adapt and survive.
The reset. Because yes, if you don't adapt, you're dead.
And thrive.
Sige, pwede. Like that. Adapt and thrive. That word thrive always reminds me of Jelly giving me plants during pandemic. And I was so afraid that I would kill them. And she's like, no, just say that they will thrive. And I said, okay. Every day I said,
and then
plants.
Look at them now. They're all over here. They're climbing to your roof.
It's a jungle. They have thrived. So I love that. Just thrive instead of, you say the positive instead of the negative, which is great.
From experience, from leaving radio and then getting out of a relationship, and then again the phase in my life right now, it's really just trust that you're gonna be okay, that you're going to thrive.
Yeah.
Just knowing that and believing that, I feel. I mentioned this on the podcast many episodes ago. I remember this one guy tells me, he told me, don't resign from radio. That is going to bring your marketability down. And it really scared me initially. And I'm like, okay, but if I don't resign from radio, I'm going to go nuts. Like physically and really go nuts because I wasn't getting any sleep. And it didn't look like they would put me on any other time slot. Yeah. And with everything that I was doing, radio was the one that was paying me the least.
Right.
So I felt
you had to make a choice.
I felt like, okay, I think I need to drop this. But if it's true what the guy said, if I dropped radio, probably I won't have as many hostings because I'm no longer on radio.
The exposure of
supposedly. But I was like, no, it's really, when I was weighing things down, I'm like, no, this is the one that I need to let go of. But I just trusted that I've established myself well enough that I'd still be good, and just that belief.
Super, you thrive. Look at you. Look at you.
It was,
even till present
good.
day.
It was good. And it's really just believing that, you've gone through so much already and you've been good. So this one, it's nothing. It's just a new arena that you're going to be on, but you're going to step into that arena. How are you equipping your kids when it comes to bullying, to not be bullied and not be a bully? This is from Sil07. In my case, I'm not worried about my child getting bullied. I worry about her being the bully.
Yeah, she's the bully. Oh, Jew.
So I always just remind her to be kind.
Yeah.
It's always just that. And lately, many of our conversations have been centered on what you put out there will always come back to you.
Okay. At least
always.
Karma.
So don't be unkind. Like sometimes she would talk about like I noticed she's been judgy.
Oh.
And I'm like, why are you so judgy, mahal? And then she'd laugh. And I was like, listen, you're basing your opinion of this person just on her looks. What if she is the nicest person?
Oh my God.
What if she is the kindest friend you could have? And you're not giving that an opportunity because you're just basing it on the looks. It's like, and the thing with kids is how kids sometimes dress. That's not even their choice. Sometimes it's the parents. So you're judging her based on what her parents are doing.
I can imagine what Juliana's like, the thoughts that are formulating in her head.
Diba nga, I was telling you, she'd sell something worth 50 pesos and she'd get 1,000 and she'll say, can I keep the change?
Bullying. Yeah. I think it's like having constant conversations with David about how to respect people and how to treat them and not to be judgy. It comes with a lot of the stuff that we watch, because we watch a lot of TV and movies and shows with David, and we always kind of process them, whether it's whatever is happening in the show. And through those conversations, I think is how he's developed like kind of like this right sense of how to act towards people. And we always tell him. And actually, I'm pretty lucky that the feedback that I get about David is that he's a very good boy.
Yeah.
So thank God, knock on wood, that stays the same all throughout.
Yeah, I think David is a good boy. The times that we're with him, you can sense it.
But it is always constantly a conversation. Like we're always talking to him about things. And I think that's very important. And giving him different perspectives.
Yeah.
You know. I don't think he's ever been bullied though. Hopefully not.
Kasi everybody likes him.
Yeah. Oh,
he's a well-liked kid.
He's been in a position where that he was made fun of his glasses, like in like the 2nd or 3rd grade, and he felt really bad about that. And I think that was the only time that he let public outside opinions kind of dictate what he wants or what he will, do in life with these glasses, because he didn't want to wear them. Right. And then I'd said, okay. But then after that year, he was like, okay with it. Like, no, I don't care. I don't care what they think.
Nice.
So I don't know how he did that on his own.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll see. But high school,
I think you model that. You model that for your children.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of adult who's always afraid of other people's judgment, the kids really get a lot from just watching us.
That's true.
So if you're a bully, guess what? They're going to be a bully.
I always say, look at the parents of that child.
And the way Fred said it too.
Ganyan sila. Judgy. But it's true. That's what Del said. Diba?
Yeah, you model it. Yeah. And so if you're a war freak, already, diba? Ako, I mean, I'm a prime example. I saw my dad drive. Oh, I got it. No matter what they said. Because it's not what you say, it's what you do. And your kids are always watching. It's all subconscious. Because if they see you do it, you are their barometer for what you should be out in the world. They're looking at you. If you're a bully, if you're a pushover, and I had a conversation with Harper last night. I was going to share it with you guys, but another time. But a part of it was, she said, Mom, these boys in class, they say I don't draw well.
Aww.
And that my drawing sucks.
Aww.
I go, are these good guys? No, Mom, they're mean. So, and I go, anak, pwede ba? Baby, they're not worth your time.
Yeah.
That, and I said it like that with a lot of attitude.
Yeah.
You know? In a way that you understand me.
Yeah.
If these are mean people to begin with, then what weight should you give their words? And I said, listen, when they don't like you and they say bad things about you, that's their thoughts. That's their action. It may be about you, but no, it's them. They're exposing themselves to you. Yeah. They can't be your friends. They're mean.
Yeah, true.
But sometimes you gotta push back. Don't let them bully you. And some of them, you garner their respect. I know this. This is my life as a child. I told Harper, anak, there was a time in school, there was a birthday celebration, and the whole class was asked. There was a cake in the front. Somebody was going to lead in prayer, our first honor student, and then everybody rose up. And then, okay, they said, oh, so-and-so, go lead the prayer. And then he goes, Mom, wait. May langaw. Ay, si Delamar lang pala.
Basto.
And then everybody laughed.
Oh, man, that's bad.
And I told Harper this story, and I go, but honestly, baby, I kid you not. Like, I'm irked, but you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me like that.
Right.
And I know it. As a kid, when I was telling the story to Harper, I was like, God damn, he's tough. This kid is tough. I say, I will not back down. You, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, you are such a child. Pareho naman kaming 9 years old. Yeah, 8 years old. So, that's a moxie that you can model for your child.
Yeah.
And I tell Harper, the parts of me that I'm now seeing, that's so good that I never thought was really good.
Yeah.
And in the telling of the stories to her, it's like I'm getting to know the younger me. And I'm kind of scary. But I would like her to know that just because we are small doesn't mean that we're going to play small.
Yeah.
I may be short, but I'm not going to play small.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to have to like me or not, but I'm not going to play small. Not anymore. Okay? So shut the fuck up. Hindi ko na sinabi yun.
We have one more question, but I wanted to share this story very quickly. I was out with Juliana and her friends the other day, and after the movie, Juliana says, I want to go to the toy store. And then her friend says, what? You want to go to that toy store? The toy store is for babies, for little kids. And oh my goodness, Juliana's like, alam mo yung ready to fight? Yung ganong itsura niya.
Yeah.
And I could see that it was already creating the tension. Like, oh my goodness, I think this get together is going to wrap up quickly. And we're going to separate ways. And I felt like, sayang naman. Ngayon lang nga kayo nagkakasama ulit. Tapos mag-aaway pa. So I was explaining to Juliana, I'm like, just drop it. Later, we can go to the toy store, the two of us. But she was like, she really wanted to confront her friend. Now, why would you say that? What's wrong? You know?
Yeah. I'm on Juice side.
And then they were fighting, right? And then that night, I just kept telling her, just drop it, Baba. It's okay. It's okay. Let it be. You don't have to change how you feel about the toy store. You don't have to insist with her how you feel. You don't need to change her opinion. She can have her own and you can have your own. Just drop it for now. And then, we stayed together and it was super fun. They all had such a good time. When I woke up the next day, though, I felt like, parang mali yata how I handled it. So I asked Drew, did you feel like I was on your friend's side rather than yours? And then she said, yes. And I was like, I'm sorry for that. I apologize. I didn't mean for you to feel that way. I didn't mean for it to seem that way because I'm always on your side. On my part, I just didn't want to ruin the moment because of something like that.
Yeah, something
something
small.
I didn't want to say something so petty because I didn't want to minimize how she felt. I was like, I just wanted, because I knew that if we didn't have this tension, you guys are going to have such a good time and you're going to go home happy that you were with your friends. And then I said, maybe this is how I could have handled it. But then I also addressed how she could handle it. And I told her, quoting Eleanor Roosevelt, nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent.
True.
So I said to her, so what if she thinks it's for little kids?
Right.
You can just say, then I'm a little kid and I love to play. And that's a good thing. Why does her opinion make you feel inferior to her? She can feel that way and you can feel differently. You guys don't have to have, and more often than not, with friendships, you're not going to agree with each other every single time.
I have a question. So as a parent, you heard that happen. You heard that conversation happen, and you didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything to her friend. And I told her, I can't tell off your friend because that's not my daughter. But I was telling Juliana, Baba, it's okay.
Oh, because if Al and I were in that situation, and let's say we're the chaperones of these children, and then that conversation happened in front of us, like she said it loud enough for like
it was a conversation between the two of them.
But you're standing right there, right?
Well, Juliana told me what happened.
So you didn't hear it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because that's different. Like if I heard it. If I were in the standing, it was the three of us. Yeah. Ju, the little girl, and myself, and I'm the chaperone. Yeah. And then Ju says, I want to go to the toy store. And this girl says, what was her line?
Juliana said, she was making fun of me because I wanted to go to the toy store and it's for little kids doll.
Okay. So if I heard the girl say, oh, why do you want to go to the toy store? It's for little kids. I'd be like, well, why not? It's fun. Let's go. I would super do that. Yeah. Even if it wasn't my child. But because I'm the chaperone and because I heard it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because, well, your situation, you weren't there.
I didn't hear it. It was just that I saw Juliana's face change and she looked like she was already in the middle of an argument.
I see.
And then but the next day I felt really bad. I guess because I was feeling her and I knew that
she felt bad.
She felt bad because I was on the side of the friend. So I explained things to her that, you know, sometimes you're going to be in situations, especially like that. If I wasn't there, malamang nag-away-away na yun.
Okay.
So I'm trying to teach her how to handle it on her own when it happens. Like sometimes you don't have to change their opinion.
Yeah.
You stick with what you like. You also don't have to change what it is you like simply because other people don't like it. You like it eh. So, you know, I was trying to explain that to her, but I really did feel bad for making her feel like I wasn't on her side. Because I'm like, first and foremost, I am your mother. And I had to remind myself of that. And I also realized that because of my insecurities, sometimes I'm like, hindi, okay na. Para lang walang away. You know, like I forget to stand up for me and stand up for my daughter. I realized that as well. And I'm like, okay, I will have to work on that. Because that's my insecurities, my low self-esteem as a kid. And my goodness, hindi na ako bata. Ang tanda ko na. You know, I'm no longer a kid. Why am I still showing up as that kid?
Right. I get it. And then like, see, so when you're in those situations and like when I just going back to what I said about Al, he's so good at diffusing those things. Like that can be.
What would he have said?
He would have just said that, hey, that's okay. You know, okay. So if it's for babies, but let's just go anyway. He'd be like that. And then because more often than not, that kid who said she didn't like it will have a blast in that toy store, right? So it's just like a delivery, and because these kids don't know, they have no filter. You know, they do say mean things. So Al will come in, or I will come in and be like, hey, no, let's just go anyway. Let's check it out anyway. There's no harm. And because you're the chaperone, they're gonna follow you.
Kasi ako, if that were me, like, oh, you're a baby, only babies like that or something.
Stores.
Yeah, I go, all right, let's be a baby.
Yeah, like that.
I want to be a baby. Like to give yourself that confidence to be exactly what they're trying to make you feel bad about. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a baby. I want to go. I'm such a baby. Let's go. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like disarming it without having to have a pointed conversation. You don't even have to explain to that child.
Correct.
Gusto mo siyang kutusan, pero okay. Diba, wag mong gawin. Pero in that one gesture, tapos ang usapan.
Oh, let's just
baby. Oh, baby nga ako. Oh, let's go. Diba?
Ganon. That's how, especially with young girls. Ooh, man. Yeah. Okay, anyway, that's like a whole other episode dealing with like the youngins of today. It's hard.
Last question.
All right.
Oh, one more? Okay,
last
question.
one. The very last one from Austin's mom. What activities do you do to feel like you prioritize yourself?
I get my hair done. Obviously. Look at my hair. Call me Queen Daenerys. House of Dragons. Yeah, I do that. I take time out for myself. Get my hair done, get my nails done. I say bye to my boys. Bye. See you later.
For me, when I really needed it, I would walk to the beach. This was all those times that we were in La Union. I already told Juliana and Ate Luz, I'll set you up for your online class and I'm out. I'm out the door. And don't expect me to come back until lunchtime. And I'm just walking back and forth. Ooh, just a little piece of advice for everyone out there. They call this raw dogging. I came across the term. That's why I wanted to use it.
Yes, you can raw dog a lot of things, Jelly.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what it refers to, but I'm only using raw dog in terms of walking, which is without a cell phone.
Okay.
So I'm not listening to any podcast. I don't know if that has any other meaning, but the way Monica's laughing, I think she'll have to expound on what the other meanings are. So yeah, for me, even when I go for walks in the morning in our village, no cell phone.
No cell phone.
You know, and
nothing
you're just
electronic.
Nothing. you're not listening to anything. And I walk for about an hour and a half back and forth within the village. And it's not boring. And I feel like I'm connected to nature even more. And and you're seeing the people, I'm looking at the squirrels, I really like it. I really enjoy it when I am not with the phone.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can do. That's something that I do on the regular to make me feel like I prioritize myself.
This is the title of the show. Raw dogging. Okay, how about
you will have to tell me all the other definitions of that. What about you, Del?
This is a really interesting question. It's really interesting because I don't think I prioritize myself. And I can't have an answer, truly. Like, I don't get massages. I will only get a pedicure because Harper wants to get a pedicure.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a watershed moment right now, guys.
Yeah, like you have to take
like
time for yourself.
Yeah, I'm really at the bottom of my own list, man.
Yeah, dude.
Because I'm listening to you guys, and I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I'm always in the service of.
Which is good, right? Because you gave yourself props for it, and it is a very important thing that you're doing. But yeah, you have to remember, you can take the car out and drive down to, I don't know, your little city and get away for it a bit. Even have a coffee date with yourself, or like a merienda date.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I don't have that pull. I don't know why. This is a very interesting thing to come up.
Yeah. Well, you have to think about it.
Although today I think I prioritized, there's a big decision that we need to make as a couple. Very big. And because I don't know enough, and it's a really great opportunity, I was going to shut myself up, not ask the questions I most want to ask. But somehow this morning, for some reason, I'm like, no, I'm the priority. If I don't understand it, we're not going to do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not
because
going
you also
to be
execute everything. So you need to understand.
I can't be shuffled around.
Yes.
And I really had to fight for myself. I prioritized myself because it led to conflict. But I prioritized having to express myself and not say, I'll just go along so I don't rock the boat. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
You can't. Kasi even if I say yes and we get to do this big thing, the fact that I did not stand up for what I felt, that's an abandoning of oneself, right?
True. I agree.
I think I did kind of prioritize. It's just not like priority in the sense na, you go spend time somewhere else because that's what you want.
That's the most important priority. This one.
Actually, yours is, that should be first and foremost.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm like, maybe this is too left field, but I'm just...
No. That
because as you guys were...
primary concern.
Yeah, as you guys...
yan yung unang priority talaga.
And I'm starting to kind of like occupy my space. Like, you can judge me that I don't know anything or I'm too scared. Yeah, I am. Now satisfy my questions. This is important. This is important for me.
Yeah, there you go.
And nobody's going to stand up for me. I'm going to have to do it. And I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel good.
It never does.
Actually, that's why when Monica asked me before we pressed record, she said, how are you? I said, I had a difficult last few days. They're really good, but they're really difficult. This is what I mean.
I like it. Actually, there's two priorities, right? The priority for yourself that you take day to day just to keep you sane. Yeah. Like those things, like the walks and the hair and the nails. But then the real definition of
taking yourself out on a date, which I did yesterday after work.
There you go. But the real, like the meat of how do you make yourself a priority is that standing up for yourself and speaking your mind, even if you know that it's going to be a confrontational instance. It's
going to stir the pot.
Or it's going to stir the pot. Or it's going to be very uncomfortable for the next couple of days, but you still have to take that priority, because this is what I want. This is what I need, right? Good. I'm happy. Good
We're
for you.
learning, Del.
Good for you, Del. Good for you. No, because, I say this because I know, and just to circle back to the first question, it is very, very difficult, right, to cohabitate with a partner.
Yeah.
With the person that you say you choose to be with you for the rest of your life. It's very difficult and it's not easy. And it is always a work in progress. There's nothing ever, you'll have steady days, but then you'll have those rocky days na parang, oh my God, why am I here? Why am I still doing this? Why are we arguing
Tamang
about
decision ba ito?
this again and again? But then you circle back and you said, well, okay, this is why. This is why. Because I love this person and I believe in this person and I trust this person.
Napagamit ako ng eyeliner. It's that kind of day.
You should do it every day. You look great, though.
That was the first thing I said to her when I saw her. I'm like, you look good, Mama.
All right. So, okay, we're done with the questions on IG Live. We want to thank everybody who joined us for that weird IG Live moment that we had on the Eavesdrop Podcast IG. But you gave us questions and we answered it today. Thank you so much. This was our first of many shows here at the Pod Network Studios.
Oh, Jasper's applauding.
Thank you, TPN.
for having us.
I've already booked us for every Friday, okay? FYI.
Friday every week?
Yeah. Jasper, yeah.
Ba't hindi ko alam yun?
Sinabi ko sa inyo.
I thought it was like once a month.
Surprise! Oh, anyway, well, hopefully that's our target every Friday because this is a lovely studio and then the guys are all fully equipped. So we got to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
This is great. Great step for the pod. So thank you guys for joining us today. We appreciate it. My name's Fran. Jelly is here in studio with me. We got Del in Utah. Hopefully we get our producer Jude Rocha live in studio one of these days. We get to hug him. We get to roast him. Who knows? Maybe that's why he doesn't want to come in. But anyway, we will catch you again. See you next time.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.